Welcome to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. This show is all about honoring you as a spiritual being, having a human experience. You are here for a reason, and it's no mistake that you are here on Earth right now. Spirit has guided you to this very moment in time, so you could hear the messages Pam is about to share with you. She is a multi-dimensional healer, light language channel, transformation coach, wife and mother, committed to helping you discover the tools and practices to empower you to live the best life you can. You get to choose the spirit path you take. You can connect to the spiritual guidance already all around you. Get ready to live a fully empowered life. This is the Empower Me Show.
Welcome back to the Empower Me Show. My name is Pam Bright. I am your hostess for this amazing program at noon Pacific time every Thursday. So thank you once again for tuning in. I am here with my dear friend, Michelle La Vergne.
Hello.
Nice to see you again, sweetheart.
Nice to see you
We
too.
are going to talk to you guys about what in the heck is happening in 2025. Wow, what a year already it's been. We're almost at the end of, we're kind of in the middle of, towards the end. It's actually in the middle of January now. I tend to be forward a few weeks in my life. It tends to be. So I'm backing up to, it's only January. It's really only the first couple weeks in January, but it feels like it's already been, a whole bunch of time since January 1st even began. So we are just going to hop to it with what we do best, which is connecting to spirit, connecting to our guidance, letting you know that we are always here for you, always here to support you, and allow you to experience your own transformation in this moment, giving you the healing and the purpose and the tools and practices that are going to assist you in moving forward the best you can in your life. So as we center in on that in this moment, I'm going to ask you to really, really give yourself permission to go within. I'm now closing my eyes to give my body permission to slow down. And I'm bringing my awareness right here into my heart. I invite you to do the same. If you can close your eyes, go ahead and do that. If you need to keep them open for any reason, be conscious of that and safe and keep your eyes open. And then I like to put one hand also on my solar plexus, which is underneath my rib cage and above my belly button. That's my power center. So I put my hands right on my body so that I give my body permission to react and respond to my touch, which for me, it's safe for me to soothe and comfort myself. And today it's all about that. And so we are going to bring comfort to our own inner selves as we focus inward. And I invite you to take a breath, nice deep breath from the belly, and out. And you might have a little sound as that breath goes out. It just really helps to bring some more comfort and soothing to the inner core. And releasing any tension, any fear, any concern. Might shake it off or brush it off a little bit. Anything that's in excess that you no longer need, you just invite it to leave now. Hela sanane ke nusunamaya tugumaya. Etunaraya zena maraya zanamana naya sanama. Ekuna mama ikira babai tunumaya sehi. All right, so the spirits are already being called in. Esanamai sanamai bai bai no sanamai ki charabana ye. Na sanaye narai. Sanaye ye. Une sanamaye kia. Creator of all that is, the one who lives and breathes within all things. You have already started with your process with this program. Thank you, thank you, thank you for always being ready to be of assistance. And we thank our guides, teachers, and angels that are already here. They're already here for us now. They started a while ago to come into my field. And I already feel you strongly here with Michelle. And so as we are conduits, each one of us, not only Michelle and I, but all of you that are listening, we're all conduits for the spiritual realm. We ask them all to come in now to assist us. Elata senene kiara mazenu ana sanane kiramaya kane nasaniya. This vortex is now open and we invite in our concerns and our questions, our needs for healing and coaching and guidance. And we thank the beings that are here presently now to assist. And so it is. So with a deep breath, you can slowly open your eyes and come back. Wow, we just started off strong there, which is excellent. I love that about the work that we do. Welcome, Michelle, to the show. I'm excited to have you once again.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so let's talk about what's happening in 2025 already. It's like so strong and crazy in a lot of ways and really amazing in other ways. Triggers, that keeps coming up over and over again for me as a theme for this program, as well as how do we deal with triggers and have gratitude at the same time. So let's talk about that a little bit.
That's interesting that you say triggers because that has been the theme. Like very, very big. And it's because like my team, right, my spirit team and the other teams that I work with, they actually came to me and wanted to discuss with me about triggers and trauma, right? Trauma and triggers because they kind of go hand in hand, right?
Yep.
So it was interesting because they would give me visuals and they would ask me how I felt. And I was like, well, I don't like it. And they're like, well, why don't you like it? I said, because it makes me feel uncomfortable. They're like, well, why does it make you feel uncomfortable? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, well, you need to figure that out because you need to heal that. Right. And I was like, okay. So I had to dig in a little bit in myself on some of these things. And I'm like, oh, well, it's because of this situation that happened when I was a child that I needed to kind of just go back in and heal that moment. And that way it does not bother me now. Right. And another thing that they were talking about was trauma, right? How in the moment trauma does not exist. Trauma comes after the moment because it comes with our belief system.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Because what is our belief system here may not be our belief system, may not be a belief system in another culture, and other areas of the world. Right. So when they put me in that classroom, that was some deep stuff for me to learn, right? I mean, that's understanding what triggers are and how they affect people and how they affect your nervous system, right? All these things that are affecting your body, um, as they're coming in right now and they're like trying to say that it's like take the victimhood out of yourself, take it out, because find your strength, right? When you find your triggers and you understand where those triggers come from, then just heal those.
So
Heal
let's
those
talk a
wounds.
little bit about that. So we say heal those, and I know there's some of us that have been from a world of, well, how in the world do I heal? Where do I begin? So let's talk about some tools for beginning, because you and I both are healers and we both are psychics and we both have been through a lot. And so let's talk about, how do we begin? How does somebody begin healing something that they know is a problem or a trauma for them?
Oh boy, that almost put me in tears just even having to think about where I started from.
Well, let's start.
All right.
Let's start from one kernel, one little kernel.
First, I remember because I had thought during the whole time that I was in my drinking stage, that I had dealt with a lot of my issues, especially the being sexually molested. I thought that I had dealt with all of that stuff. Right? I mean, I had faced pretty much every single one of them, and I thought that I had like forgiven. I thought that I had done all of these things, but when I quit drinking and I quit smoking cigarettes, I was like, holy shit, right? Because I didn't. All I did was pushing it down. I kept pushing it down. And so after that, when everything started rising again, I will be honest, I found myself so angry, so detached, right? And I prayed a lot.
Mm.
I had to pray a lot because things were coming into my life that that I knew were not my thoughts, right?
Mm.
And me understanding the other side, I was like, okay, this sounds familiar, right? This sounds familiar to me. So I had some place to go to from my childhood and remember the dark energies and stuff like that, right? So with that being present in my life, and I knew it was there, I knew the only other way to go is to start praying to God and bring the light back in, because the light is what I needed to have, right? And sometimes that those voices that you hear in your mind, they want to trick you, right? They want to trick you that you don't need that light, that they are here to help you and support you. And because when you're down, it feels really good sometimes to feel just you want to stay in bed and never get out, right? I mean, it feels really good sometimes. And even if you're sad, I mean, it still feels good. But I will tell you, the one thing that probably got me over that was accepting that I was going to lay on that bed.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's self-care. See, that's a big, big part of healing, is listening to the body system. I talk a lot about the body system. When we allow ourselves to take care of self first, that's huge. Like, especially when our self-esteem is like the size of a pea, and we've got all this baggage that has been swallowing us up, it's really difficult to care about how we look, how we feel, what we say, what we project out to others. We are on automatic pilot. And a lot of times, what we call the lower vibrational energies tend to be what we put out in the world.
Yeah.
And that is going to keep us in that low frequency of anger and fear and worry and shame and guilt,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know about you, but for me, I had a lot of shame and guilt that I was carrying around. And it was crazy because I had a lot of shame and guilt that I was carrying around that's for stuff that I didn't start. I didn't put it out there myself first. It was put on me from other people, from other lifetimes, from other, really a lot of stuff. We're dealing with a lot of stuff from other lifetimes in this lifetime.
Oh yeah.
And we can go on for many, many shows about that. But let's backtrack here. Those days when we're staying in bed all day and we're full of shame and guilt and we're afraid of the world, can that be okay? Those of you who are listening, can you make that be okay? So you call in sick to work and you say, I'm sick today, taking a sick day. I'm just going to stay in bed. I'm going to eat ice cream and watch movies and not deal with anything else in the world. Is that okay with you? Make it be okay with you. Forgive yourself for not showing up the way that your expectations dictate that you show up. Change your mind, change your mindset, create a new habit. That's how self-care starts.
Yeah. And
So,
self-care is like very, I mean, it's a very important aspect that a lot of women do not fully understand, right? Because we're raised to take care of others.
yes.
And I have, I've never had anything personally happen to me in religion, but I have heard many, many women talk about it. And just because of how we put ourselves out there so much, and if we turn around and we look inward, religion tells you you're selfish, and you're not selfish, right? You're not selfish at all. I mean, one thing that is probably the most selfish is you not caring for yourself.
Mm. Yeah. Well, selfish, not selfish. It's giving permission. I use that term a lot. Of can you give yourself permission to be exactly who you are?
Yeah.
That is a big one right there. And I know that you and I have had many conversations about that.
Yes.
Can you allow yourself to be who you are and allow yourself to listen to those that accept you for who you are?
Well, yeah. And like, there was a point where I had to reset my whole entire life. I mean, I had to push my family out. I had to push, not my children, but I mean, my husband. I pushed everybody out. Everybody. And everybody thought I was going crazy. Right. And I'm like, no, I just have to find my center. I got to find out where I begin because I've always been told how to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when you're always told how to be, you just kind of be, you're just that. Right. And so when you really start thinking about self-care, well, self-care is here inside. It's your soul. It's who you're taking care of. You're taking care of your soul.
Yes.
Right. Your body, I mean, all of it comes together. But if you're not taking care of that soul, you're just not happy.
Right.
Right. And so that was a tough thing for me. And I've seen that with a lot of women because they're like, well, how? And I'm like, it's a reset. My family is just now coming back into my life. Right. We're just now doing little things here and there together. Not very much still, but I mean, it's still something.
Well,
Right.
and let me ask you a question. Did you notice that as you took more responsibility for your own healing, that that change started occurring with your family, where you all of a sudden, by you doing the work, it left an opening for the healing to occur with your family?
When I came, one day I heard, it's a yes. One day I had heard, you're not going home a victim. Okay. And when I heard that, I was like, you're right. I'm not a victim. If I continue to push everything off on everything out there and not hold my own self accountable and start looking internally on these things, then I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to do any self-care. I'm not going to be able to heal myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when I decided, when that came in my mind, I was like, well, how the hell am I going to do this? Right. And literally things just started changing.
Yes.
Right. Things just started changing. And I will tell you, one of the biggest blessings that I've had, and I know many people have had these opportunities, they just have not seen them, is when I had the light come over me and I'm looking around and I'm like, everything's glowing. Right. And I looked at my husband. I said, why are you glowing? Everything's glowing. Everything is beautiful. Like everything that I thought was not pretty, everything that I thought was ugly, is beautiful.
Mm.
Right. And I just turned around and I looked up. I said, I don't know exactly what this is right now. I said, but this is the most beautiful moment I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. Right. And it was a gift that once you turn around and start healing internally, you start looking internally on these things, it's here. The light
Yes.
is here for you.
Yes.
It just happens. Things just happen in that. It's like you take the responsibility of yourself, you start doing the work for yourself, and the universe sees that. Source
Yes.
sees that, right?
Yes.
So everything that you do for yourself, and you don't do it in a way of being mean to others, right? You have to make sure you still have the compassion and try to watch your ego as you're doing the self-care. But you do that and they see what you're doing, and all of a sudden they're just there for you. And things just start going in place, things start aligning for you.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to talk some more about that. And I want to invite all of you who are listening that feel like you would really, really love some assistance with this process to call us on the 800 number that you see on your screen. If you aren't viewing us this way, then I'll tell you the number is 1-800-930-2819. Michelle and I would love to talk to you, and Michelle has some amazing tools to be able to offer for your own healing, your own journey, your spiritual unfoldment, because it's not a mistake that you have found us here on this hour of power, as I like to call it. We're talking about triggers and how to heal them. We're talking about self-care and what does it mean to have self-care? What does it mean to be responsible for our own journey, our own awareness, our own belief systems? We've been talking about, how do we change our limiting beliefs to open-minded communication and ability to communicate with understanding and awareness, and really allowing different perspectives of things and different viewpoints. So go ahead and call us or type in the chat line if you're viewing on Transformation Talk Radio. The site, you can see that there's a chat box somewhere there to be able to type it in to be able to communicate with us. So as I always like to do, have cards. Cards to do. These are the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle deck. So we're talking about light, and we're going to bring some light in because I like to do that. It's the way that I stay connected to the divine and bring as much spiritual guidance in as possible. And so the way that we do this, it's magic. It
I
just
love
pops
magic.
out, right? So Michelle, why don't you let me know for the collective where we're going to begin?
There's a
Tell me
space
what's
right
up.
here, right
Right
there. Stop.
here. All
Yep.
right. It is a brownish kind of card.
Grounding.
Oh, it's actually There's brown and gold and orange. There's all kinds of colors in this. It's the Earth Star activation card. Show that to you. Look at that.
You know what's so funny is I just saw that image in my mind the other day.
Nice. Well, that symbol, I think actually that is the symbol for the Earth Star, I think. Anchoring, grounded action, and Isis energy. Ooh, we're bringing in Isis. All right. So what do you know about Isis?
Honestly, I don't know. I am just learning about that stuff. I'm going to be honest. Um, I mean, I've literally mostly just worked with the heaven aspect of things, right? Up until the last couple years.
Okay.
And so the last couple years, I'm getting so much information all the time that I heard the name come in at one time, and all I knew it was like as a goddess or god. It was a god. I'm trying to remember. And so my sister's really good at this type of stuff.
Well, Isis
personally am
was,
not.
yes, Isis was an Egyptian goddess.
Yes, goddess.
And so we're bringing in the Egyptian mysteries into this moment.
Yes.
And let's just call in Isis and call in the Earth Star to activate. The Earth Star, from my understanding, is underneath us. It's like, I don't know, I'm hearing 10 or 15 feet.
Yeah, it's not very
below our, I don't know if it's below the earth or if it's below our feet. I think it's
below our feet.
Yeah. So let's call in Isis and ask her to assist.
Right.
So Isis, goddess Isis, we now ask you to come in fully and give us your information for grounding and connecting to this Earth Star, connecting with the earth energies fully, and bringing in the Egyptian mysteries that want to assist us. And as I know that, Michelle, you are very connected, I'm going to ask you whatever you're picking up as I'm channeling a little bit of light language. Just see what wants to come in for those that are listening. Ala tanayesena madakite sunumamaki ita manakia. Unte zanamanaki namaiki nama I nuzena manayeke. Earth Star, we ask that connect you to you now. Etasenaki ambapa ma ne mad ne sunda neya. Ne sanamade ke. Ke sanamaniki abaye ndamada nde sanamaite namaniki namanite tu ne sanayeki. So what are you picking up, Michelle, as that transmission just occurred?
I'm like trying to write and trying to they're showing me different things. So the first part I started writing down was, I am here to remind you of your inner power, where you came from. And remember, most of you were Egyptian. You came from that time. Remembering your royalty is important in this lifetime going forward. So once you can remember where your power begins, nobody can ever turn that off again.
Beautiful. Yeah. So the Egyptians, I've done a little bit of work with the Egyptian energies, and one of the things that I've not done yet, but we could do it in this program, which you can just tap on it a little bit, is those that can trust themselves to transport themselves to the inside of the pyramids. I'll just go through this and we'll just see what we can pull in for us collectively for the information that wants to be received. So allow yourself to connect to your third eye. Those of you who are watching, I'm tapping now on my third eye. It's between the eyebrows. And I also like to tap on my heart to connect my heart and my power center, which is in my solar plexus, together. And we now ask Isis to transport us to the inner chambers of the pyramids, those that are listening, that need to pull back some information from the pyramids for us now. It'll be individually, collectively, whatever it is, it'll be perfect for each of us individually. And so we now ask to connect completely with the inner chambers as much as possible now. Unless anybody nahi. Nahi, nahi, ay, hey. So I have my hands on the wall of the inner chamber, and my experience is that it vibrates, that somehow it's a transmitter of information. And I'm seeing light. I'm seeing beams of light, actually, that are coming in and creating a grid of some kind. Anything that you want to share, Michelle, that you're picking up from the inner chambers?
They're just showing me like somebody taking care of a mother. And they also said that there is a reason why the people that are listening right now are listening.
Okay. So those of you who are listening want to know, obviously, you need to know that the Egyptian pyramids are available to you etherically. So you can think about the pyramids and ask the pyramids to guide you and assist you in your spiritual journey. The way you can do that is through dreams. Before you go to bed, you can dream and ask the dreams to assist you. You can write, do some automatic writing with that. The way you do that is simply have an intention or a question. How can the pyramids assist me today? That would be a great question to start with. And then just allow yourself to freehand write. Whatever comes up is perfect for you. That's another tool that you can use to assist with the next phase of your life. The fact that the beings that were there in the pyramids were taking care of a mother. Those of you who are mothers, allow that energy to come into your heart and your body system to be assisted.
Allow someone to take care of you.
Yeah, the other thing is allow the ascended ones your ancestors to help you. It's another way that they're wanting to assist is, we are here for you. We have been waiting for you.
Allow yourself to receive.
Yes. Allow yourself to receive the wisdom that is freely given and available to you. All right. So again, we're available if you want to call us, please do. You can write in as well. Emily is in the background here, checking to see if there are comments coming in. Please let us know, Emily, if there are, because we would definitely love to hear that. So I'm going to pause now and ask you, Michelle, what is it that you feel is really super important for people to know right now, or to get some support around?
To get some support, to, this is what I'm hearing, is to redesign, is how they're wording it, redesign your belief system.
And how does one do that?
You look inside of yourself. You look at this, you look at the belief system you have now. First of all, you can ask yourself, is it working? If what you believe, and I'm not talking about these core things like I don't want to do something bad, I don't want to go against my morals. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about belief systems in regards to, I'm hearing somebody saying, well, how do I receive? That's what I'm hearing. Like somebody's wondering that, how do I receive? You receive by caring for yourself. You receive by knowing that you are worth love, that you are worth your queen. You are the queen. And by being that queen, you deserve all the riches. And whatever those riches are, because I'll tell you, looking at this woman that is laying here in this bed, I mean, it's a very vivid thing. And they have this lady in white just feathering over her. Right. And in this room, there's caretakers, there's people doing all these different things, and all this, like, just, it's just beautiful. And the colors, they all go together with the colors of this card. And so this lady that is laying there is just, even though she doesn't feel like she can do anything, right? Because she's either sick, there's something wrong, so she can't really do much. But all of this energy around her is love, and it's keeping her going, and it's keeping her going, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're there to, your teams are all here to help you and feathering all of this other stuff away. So your belief system can also just change. Our belief system, by the way, is what they want me to tell you as well, is changes all the time. We are constantly changing our belief system, even though we don't stop to think about it. Okay. So to change that is to just look inside yourself and ask, what do you really, really want? What is it that you really, really want? And start asking yourself, how do I get there? Right? It could just be the smallest win of, let's say you are in bed for 2 days, right? Let's say you're in bed for 3 days because you're just really, really full of grief, or there's something happening. You do not want to get up. You know what? Get up and brush your teeth. You know what I did? I opened up my curtains and I started looking out the window every single morning. Every morning when I could not get out of bed, when I hurt my back, I literally looked out that window and I made sure I saw the sun, I saw the birds, I saw the trees. And I never used to think outside was beautiful. At least not outside my window. Now I think it's the most beautiful thing that there is, right? But that's me changing my belief system. Now I believe it's beautiful.
Yes. Yes. So change one thing in your life, and the world will shift.
Yes,
Okay?
it shifts.
Okay. So let's do that right now. So once again, I'm a firm believer of closing the eyes actually gives the signal to the body that, oh, we're changing what's called our state. Change your state of being right now. Go within, stop the noise around you. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what one thing right now am I willing to shift? What am I willing to shift as far as a belief, a feeling, a thought, an action step? What is that one thing? And you might even go as far as seeing a calendar in front of you and pick a date that you're willing to change that. And you could put it on your calendar. Today, on this day, is when I change my feeling, my belief, or my action. And you can pick, right?
Yeah.
Just an idea. That's another tool that you can add to your toolbox.
And they're coming forth and saying, please just remind everybody they do not have to compare themselves.
Mm.
Not compare yourself to another person's healing. Do not compare yourself to where another person is in their life, because we are all in different classrooms.
Yes, too. Yes, that's very true. Very, very true. All right. So we talked about having compassion for ourselves, and we talked about limiting beliefs. We also talked about okay, so this is detachment. Let's talk about detachment. How do we detach from the triggers that automatically come up? And they automatically come up anyway. They're going to come up, right? But how do we detach from the significance or the pull, or the attack, if you will, on the psyche when those triggers come up? How do we detach from that so that we can get a new reality or a new belief system or a new feeling even inside of us? Like, take anything in the world right now, the world stage, the political system, the religious world, the economy. I mean, pick one or all
Oh
of
my
those
God.
things, right? How do we pause and step back and shift what's coming up automatically to be able to have a new vibration? What do you use? What do you do for that?
Well, they told me to choose that wonderful word, politics.
Okay,
So,
how do you shift that?
yeah, that's a fun one. That's probably one of the hardest ones, honestly, at this moment in time. It really, really is. And it has been for many, many people for the last 4, 5, 8 years, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. It's been a while. But I was in a group, and she was trans channeling, and we talk a lot about politics, me and my teams. Okay, we do. And that's just because I'm neutral. I'm very, very neutral. And I choose to stay neutral because it is healthier for me. Right? I think it should be healthy for everybody, honestly. But for my own self, it's healthier. I don't even watch TV, because I know that I trust my team enough, right? That if there's something I need to know, they will bring it to me.
Mhm.
So, but in this channel, in this session that she was doing with the group, was somebody asked about politics, and the person that she was communicating, or not the person, but the being she was communicating with, literally said, if you're not in politics, leave politics alone. Okay? If you're not in the politics, leave the politics alone. You getting yourself so worked up, and they're coming forth right now and saying, please say this. So you getting yourself, because this part wasn't for that, but you getting yourself so worked up over political things does nothing for you. Does absolutely nothing for you, except for give you more sickness. That is all it does, because it adds to stress. I'm not saying, and they're not saying, do not stand up for what you believe in, okay? Because those are your belief systems, right? If those are the things that you feel that you need to stand up for, then you're more than welcome to stand up for them. But the one thing that they are trying to get everybody to see is that the belief system that we were raised with was not accurate. Okay. And so people are standing up for things and a belief system and not listening to their teams. They're not listening to their guides. They're not listening to these things, because if they were, there would not be a lot of anger. There would not be a lot of this low vibrational stuff happening. And so they're like, leave the politics to the politics. We have a plan, right? And whether, doesn't matter what side of the aisle you are on, with Trump winning, the first thing I heard, because I asked why, right? And the first thing I heard was because more people prayed. The vibration was up more because they felt that there was something at stake and there was no anger over here. It was more love, because they were praying and praying and praying for certain things, right? And people trying to shoot him was probably the dumbest thing they could have ever done, because that lowered the vibration of things. And then it just raised the vibration of more praying to God. Okay. So that is really what that came down to, was a lot of prayer. And so I was like, okay, I don't have a belief system in it. So I just listen to what they have to say. Right.
Yep.
And that is where I choose to be. And that is where a lot of people should really choose to be, is I understand you have a belief system, but the belief system, not everything that we were taught is accurate.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So here's the thing that I hear over and over again from my guidance is, if there's an action that I need to take, then I need to ask my guidance to assist me with that action.
Yeah.
It is not proper by any means now in 2025 for me to do anything by myself.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Okay. Doesn't mean that I'm like I don't have power. Doesn't mean like I'm not supposed to.
No.
It's like I don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's a freedom for me
Yeah.
to ask for divine guidance.
It's a
It's
big
a
freedom.
privilege. It is like, woohoo! Thank
It is.
goodness I don't have to do it by myself anymore.
It is a weight off of your chest. It is, when I finally just decided to take my power back and stand in it and just be, right, and really, really start listening to everything. It was so interesting, because I used to have like a plate on my chest and I couldn't figure out how to remove it. Now, of course, somebody, for me visually, because I see it different, I could see it. And so, and I could, but even if I couldn't see it, I could feel the weight. Right. And I'm just like, oh my God, this weight, what is this weight? And I was like, what is this thing on my chest? It's like so heavy. And it's a shield. Right. And so I was like, well, I don't need to be shielded anymore. I don't need all that. And I'm like, I want to know these things, but I want to trust first. I want to trust, because the trust that you guys have given me, they have showed up so many times that how do I not trust them? Right? How do you not trust them? The weight off of me gave me so much freedom. Just listening gave me so much freedom. And people do not even understand that freedom, because they're so stuck in this belief system that they have to be a certain way and they have to do things a certain way. No, you don't. You just get to be you.
Yes.
That's what you were sent here to do. This is what this planet was built for to begin with, was for perfect people to just be and to understand free will. We weren't here to hurt one another. We were not here to judge one another. We were not here for all these things in the very, very beginning. But because all these things transpired, judgment became.
Yes.
Right? And you got to be careful what you judge. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
because that's where past life stuff comes in.
Yes. Yes. So here's the
Look at
thing
it.
I'm going to remind all of you again about. Okay. Because again, you know, from this show, if you're tuning in regularly, that I am very connected and I get information all the time. Michelle is also very connected. She gets information all the time.
Yeah.
This is not something that was automatic for us. It's something that we've cultivated over time to be willing to trust, which is to have faith in divine guidance on a daily basis. And for you who are listening, I want to implore you to allow yourself the gift of that. If you need assistance in how to get connected and listen and have faith and follow guidance, contact either one of us. And I want to give you an opportunity, Michelle, to tell people about this free gift that you have, which is this amazing course that you are creating. What is that?
First, I'd like to, they want me to mention one more thing before I go forward, is that some people are having issues with God, with the word God, which is completely understandable. And as I mentioned earlier, I never had an issue with religion. I've gone to different religions, tried different things just for myself. If you choose to call it divine, you can choose to call it source. You can choose it to call it whatever you want to call it. Okay, because the name God was created by humans. And so you can call that beautiful light whatever you want to, as long as it comes from love.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So you can call it whatever you want to. You can look at it however you want to, as long as it comes from a place of love and light. That's it.
Yes,
Right.
of course. So you have a course that you're creating. Tell us about the course.
I do, and I'm going to pull this up here. Hopefully, you can see me at the same time. I can see you. Okay, so actually, I have decided to. I'm doing a 3-part course. It's a whole course, but the first part is actually Reiki 1. I'm going to put Reiki 1 with this one, the first 8-week course. And it actually talks about understanding self-awareness, the importance of that. It talks about who am I, right? And so if we're going to start somewhere, we're going to start with our root chakra, right? Because that is the number one anyways, right? So as we start there and we work our way up, okay? So depending on where you are, honestly, whether you've ever taken Reiki or you have not, or depending on where you are in your healing journey, will kind of depend on where I would put you in one of these courses.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So the first one is pretty much all just about finding out who you are, right? Really starting with the core of who you are. Okay. And so that is an 8-week course.
Okay.
And then I have the other one, and this one is actually, the first one is actually called Journey to Your Souls, what it's actually called. And then I have this other one that I'm still working on 3.
So we only have 2 minutes left. So we have 2 other courses, right?
Yeah. So the other one is understanding limiting beliefs, positive self-talk, embracing your true self. So stuff like that. I mean, so depending on where you're at in your healing journey, or if you even want to learn Reiki. If you don't want to learn Reiki, we don't even have to put that in there as a course, because this is all, some of this will be grouped together and some of it will be one-on-one as well.
Great, perfect. So if you are interested, folks, in learning more with Michelle, then you can contact her by email at michelle@creativehealings.com. Is that right?
Yes, because my website crashed about 2 weeks ago, and so right now it's still under construction.
Okay, so that's the way to contact her, michelle@creativehealings.com.
Yeah.
Let her know that you heard her on this show, that you want to learn from her, you are interested in the course, and she will hook you up.
Yep. It is a pay what you can.
If you want to connect to me, brightbutterflynetwork.com or transformationtalkradio.com. Both of those will get to me. Transformation Talk Radio, just let them know, Pam Bright, you heard my show, the Empower Me show, and you want to connect to me. We'll get you hooked up. You don't have to do life alone, folks. It's all up to you to reach out, to say yes to support. We're here for you. We love you. And this life is up to you. So take it with the gusto that you can muster to bring forth for you today. Many, many blessings to you. Thank you, Michelle, for showing up again.
Thank you for
I
having
look
me.
forward to seeing you in person
Yes,
as
here
soon as
soon.
possible.
Yes.
And guys, enjoy your life. Really, this is an amazing journey. So many blessings. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in to learn more about living a fully empowered life. Remember that your life is up to you, and you can choose the spiritual path you are on. There is spiritual energy and wisdom in everything and everyone around you. Listen carefully for what the universe is trying to tell you in every moment. You are already being guided along your journey. Call upon your spirit guides anytime you need help with anything. Know that you are safe in every moment, even if it seems that you are not. For more information about Pam Bright, visit brightbutterflyenterprises.com or email theempowermeshow@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next week.